All right, good day, everybody. This is Emar Substitute, and we're joined by Max Wilkins from Georgia State Soccer. Max, thanks for joining us. And how has the season been going so far for the team? You've won 9 matches, but you've been in a new conference, a lot of changes. But how's the team doing overall this year?
Oh, it's going very, very well. Yeah. So we just finished up our last non-conference game against ETSU, got a good result there. And now it's all eyes on conference games from here on out. We got 4 more left, and we're looking to grab a few points. We played Akron and Bowling Green away, and that was our toughest stint, just being away in Ohio for 5 or so days. But managed to get a few points there. Now eyes forward, and we got to finish out.
Yeah, let's go back to the ETSU match, which took place on October 12th. You scored your 4th goal of the season early in that contest to give the team the 1-0 lead, and the team was able to get the victory. What about that goal and your goal scoring this year? I said 4 goals, which is currently tied for the team lead with several teammates. What about that goal and just you being able to find the back of the net several times this year?
Oh, it's awesome when you can do your job as a striker and, put some points on the board for the team. It's really just a confidence thing. It's, scored a few in the last couple of games, and you just look to keep it going every single game.
Yeah, and you mentioned you're in the MAC conference now. You're not in the Sun Belt anymore, and the competition has stepped up. You faced nationally ranked Akron. Bowling Green's gotten some national votes. You have several teams that are ranked nationally in that grouping. What's that been like for you guys traveling up to Ohio, making these long road trips and just facing new competition?
I think it's great. Actually, it was really exciting. Beginning of the season, we didn't really know what we were getting into, but I think we've definitely held our own and can continue to do that. I think in the past we haven't played exactly like we haven't played that many ranked teams since I've been here. It's probably been like 3 maybe in my time too. But it's just good to play, nationally recognized teams and, kind of go out and prove yourself. I think if I remember correctly, I think 4 out of the 7 of the teams in our conference are top 40. So, it's just, and then a couple top 25. So, it's awesome to go out there and test yourself and really see what you can do against these big time teams.
Yeah, and Georgia State's right in that running. You've received national votes in the top 30 poll and said 9-3 so far this year. What's it been about this season that's led to the success to get these 9 victories so far?
Honestly, it's just been contribution from everybody. We got Solar scored 2 against Akron, and he's been in and out of injury. We got Ethan, who's freshman, stepping up. We got a couple other freshmen. We got Beam scoring a few goals, and it's just contribution from everyone. It's everyone's knowing their job and going into the game, whether you're starting, whether you're coming off, whether you're playing 10 or 90, I think we're all focused on one thing, and we're all just zoned in on that task and looking to really make a name for ourselves this year.
Yeah, and how's this year been, this year 2021, compared to this time last year with the pandemic and the uncertainties of things going on and off of the pitch? Just how's the team right now feeling to be able to get, fingers crossed, and so far this year, being able to get a nice full regular season in and, just being back on the field consistently?
Yeah, it was tough mentally last season. We're testing 3-4 times a week for COVID. So it was just, you're coming in early, and then there would be a lot of times where, actually, thankfully for us, but a lot of teams that we played, they would have somebody be test positive, and then it'd knock out a few of the kids on the team. And it was a lot of staying in the house and really watching who you're with, what you're doing, and just being mentally switched onto that and understanding that, it's bigger than just what you're doing by yourself. You got a whole team on your back that if one of us slips up and test positive, then we might not be able to play the games, and we only had 10 games last season. So we were lucky to get all 10 in. So, it's been tough, but it's good to be back to quote unquote normal right now.
Yeah, and you have a big weekend coming up against Western Michigan, October 21st, Northern Illinois, October 23rd. If you have a good weekend, you could be first in the conference standings if all things work out well for you. How is the team preparing for these 2 matchups that are coming fast at you at home in conference play?
Yeah, it's a huge weekend. It's a huge week as a whole for the MAC. I think a lot of the teams start playing each other and getting their games out of the way. And for us specifically, we got 2 in 3 days. And if we can pick up some points here, like you said, if we can pick up 6 points here, 2 wins, I mean, we're going to be sitting very, very good and almost guaranteeing us a spot in the conference tournament, which in the past in the Sun Belt, we've been able to just go right in, be placed first or second. And this year we have to actually make the tournament. So yeah, it's a little nerve wracking, but I think we're ready for it. And I think this upcoming week, the energy has been very, very good. Everyone's been switched on and really buzzing to get going this weekend and begin conference play again.
Yeah, and I should have mentioned that contest against ETSU was a midweek, and you had this past weekend off. So that was kind of rare to have a weekend free in the middle of a season. How did the team use this off time to get ready for these matches?
Yeah, I mean, we had like 6 games in the span of I don't know how many days. It wasn't that long, I'll tell you that. And so the bodies were definitely feeling it. So we came back from Ohio and had just 2 days off of just regen and taking care of your body, getting with the trainer, and then straight into ETSU. And it was great to have a weekend off. You know, it was some good sessions to finish up the weekend Saturday, go into off Sunday, and back at it Monday. But I mean, it was just good for the body just to mentally and physically relax, to be honest.
Yeah. Now, a lot of athletes have taken advantage of the NIL rules, the name, image, likeness, to have promotional endeavors. People were promoted fashion lines and different soft drinks and things like that. You've, on the other hand, have gone a different route. I know, as a fellow new media person, I appreciate this. You have a podcast. Elaborate on that. And I don't want to give it away. I want you to explain what the podcast is about and what was the inspiration behind it.
So, I had a buddy that I used to play soccer with back in high school, and he moved away, but we wanted to keep in touch. We still do keep in touch basically every single day. And then we got my roommate involved in it as well. So it's me, a guy named Jared, and roommate Logan, who plays on the soccer team as well. And it's called Bearish Podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, TikTok, all over, all the social medias. Basically, we are all into finance and investing and stocks of some sort. And when you try to get involved into stocks, there's a lot of big words and there's a lot of intimidation. It's kind of it's a daunting thing to get into. And we said, you know what, let's make this as us 4 college students who can be pretty relatable and talk a little bit and have some jokes. Let's talk about finance and investing and stocks as a whole in the market in a relatable way, one that people can find entertaining and really not as scary as some people may make it out to be.
When did your interest in the financial industry begin? And you're at a young age, you're still a college athlete. That usually is something that develops a little bit maybe later in life, but when did it start for you?
Yeah, so my father's always been into it, and I started off as a marketing degree, and I always talked to my dad about finances and investing and stuff like that. And me and Jared, I mean, it really kind of kicked off in the pandemic, and I think it did for a lot of people. Me and Jared specifically I remember he got me into investing. What was it, like last December? So a little over a year ago. And I mean, we were like talking about it, not really that into it, didn't really know anything about it. And then as the pandemic went out, we just got more and more involved in it. And I actually added a double major into finance as well, because I liked it so much. So this podcast has kind of opened up my eyes to a lot of different opportunities. We're not experts. We don't claim to be, but we like to talk about it and learn more every single day.
And what's the reception been like from people? Because I say, you watch Bloomberg, you watch a lot of the CNBCs. It's a lot of older people on there, people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s,
Exactly.
and based in New York or Silicon Valley. I said, you young gentlemen are in your 20s doing this. But what's the reception been like from your contemporaries as far as younger people speaking about finance?
Right. So when we set out, our goal was to make it very interesting and relatable to kids our age. And I thought we did that perfectly in the way we talk to each other and actually the way that we present whatever information that we're talking about. And so we've had a lot of involvement on different, like you said, there's a lot of CNBC shows and Bloomberg and all this, CNBC and everything that are talking about it. So we decided let's take it to the social medias and let's take it to TikTok and Instagram. And we've gotten a lot of reception on TikTok, which is actually kind of funny. We've actually gotten over 1 million views, a lot of likes, a lot of followers. So, I mean, it's taken a while. We started in January, but I think it's the fact that we're making it relatable and focused towards a younger generation that is TikTok, that we're kind of gaining some traction.
Yeah. Do you see this as a future endeavor for you? Obviously, your playing career is very important, and you have plenty of time with that. But do you see this as an avenue to the future? And do you see the sports and finances merging together? Because sports, there's a lot of money in it, and you're
Right.
talking about finances. Do you see the synergy and the connection of the two?
I mean, I think it's just great to know this kind of stuff and be financially literate. And so, I mean, in an ideal world, yeah, I would like to take it somewhere. Right now, it's just a little tough with soccer and school, trying to balance everything at once. And, I have obligations and priorities that I need to tend to. But, when all this, when I find some time, when I find a break, I'd love to really dive back deep into Bearish like I was, the past year before this semester started, and see if I can take it somewhere and grow it big and with my best friends.
Yeah, and with all this money coming in with NILs, and it seems like it's a tough, because I've spoken to other student athletes, and it's a tough deal. And with, as far as the money coming in, how to taxes and keeping your eligibility, have you touched on some of those situations as well? And has the athletic department at Georgia State and your fellow, because it's a small community in sports, has that been a good interaction as far as athletic departments helping these people out through the NILs?
Right. So right now we haven't monetized it. So it hasn't, we haven't really stepped over and crossed that line of being a student athlete and NIL. We actually do look forward to monetizing it if we can. And then we would have to make sure we're following the rules and eligibility and everything. But speaking on that, our compliance has made it very easy and very straightforward on what to do, how to go about it, and keeping everyone in check. I mean, everyone's learning about it right now since it's so new, but they've been in contact with us multiple times of how to go about it, what to do, and if we have any questions to reach out. They've been very, very helpful throughout the whole process.
Yeah, and this is just a general question. Where do you see the future of NILs and finances? You're an athlete, so you're in the middle of it. You know how that is to be a athlete and having to balance all of that with your NILs. Do you see this becoming a positive for college athletics and for the athletes, or do you still think there's some things that have to be dealt with as far as making it better?
I mean, obviously it's new, so there's probably some kinks that need to be worked out. But with saying that, I think that this can be a very, very positive thing for student athletes. I mean, I always refer to soccer as a full-time job when you're playing it in college, and then you got to balance school on top of that. So you have to have excellence in, two different things. It's athletically and academically. And there's not really time. There is, but it's really tough to balance maybe a job on top of that. So if you can use your platform of being a student athlete and kind of raise some funds that way and off your name, image, and likeness, I think it's a great, great avenue. And I think it can be very beneficial to the NCAA as a whole.
All right. Well, Max, thank you for your time. We greatly appreciate it. And good luck for the rest of the season.
Of course. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right.